Children, now let us discuss about the solution of the multiple choice questions in the physics and chemistry part of science. Before going through the multiple choice question, you must be thorough in the concepts of the physics and chemistry. Then only you can recognize the correct answer. Now let us discuss here the first question, the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction. Here the four options are there: process of charging a thing, the process of producing a magnetic field by passing current through a coil, induction of electric current in a circuit by relative motion between magnet and coil, rotation of a coil in a electric motor. Here, what is electromagnetic induction? It is a phenomenon of inducing the current in the circuit by the relative motion between the magnet and the coil. So which option is the answer here? That is the option C. Option C is the answer. So here this is the answer. Now the second question, magnetic field inside the solenoid. Options are 0, decreases as we move towards the end, uniform in all points, increases as we move towards the ends. Here you know that inside the solenoid, magnetic field inside the solenoid is uniform in all points. Inside the solenoid, the magnetic field is uniform in all points. Therefore, the option C, uniform in all the points. You can represent the magnetic field lines inside the solenoid by the parallel lines. It means they are uniform in all points. Next, you take the third question. The main constituent of biogas is main constituent of biogas. The main constituent of biogas is methane. Methane is the main constituent of biogas. The option A is the answer. Now the fourth question. What is the fourth question? The work done in moving a charge of 2C. Moving a charge of 2C. Here 2C is the charge across 2 points having a potential difference 12 volt. So this is the charge Q and this is potential difference V. And what we have to find out? You have to find the work done W. Then you write the relation W is equals to V into Q. V is here. What is V? V is 12 volt into Q. Q is 2. So you will get 12 into 2, 24 joules. Then what is the answer here? The answer is 24 joules. Answer is 24 joules. Next, take the fifth question. A piece of wire of resistance R is cut into two equal parts. The new resistance of the piece of wire is there. Consider it is a piece of wire. It is cut into two equal parts. Now the new resistance obtained. Here the L becomes L by 2. L becomes L by 2. Then you know that the resistance also becomes R by 2. You know that the resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. As the length of the conductor increases, resistance also increases. As the length of the conductor decreases, that is also decreases. So here you can have the relation. Here L becomes L by 2. Length of the resistance becomes L by 2 because it is cut into two equal parts. So each part is having the length L by 2. So the resistance is also R by 2. What is the resistance? Resistance is R by 2. That is option C. C is the answer. Next, sixth question. What is the sixth question? Fuel used in thermal power plant. Fuel used in thermal power plant is coal. Fuel used in thermal power plant is coal. You know that in hydro power plant, water will be used, and in windmill wind is used, and in nuclear power plant uranium is used. So here the question is fuel used in thermal power plant. So which is the answer? B, coal is the answer. Coal is used in the thermal power plant to produce the steam, and that steam is used to run the turbine. Next, let us take 7th question. The direction induced current changes when a rectangular copper coil rotates in magnetic field for every 2 rounds, for every round, for every half round, for quarter round. Here you know about the alternating current. It is about the alternating current. The direction of induced current changes when a rectangular coil rotates in magnetic field for every half round. Here the direction of the current changes for every half round. For every half rotation, the direction of the current changes. Next, let us take the question number 8. Question number 8. Most of the sources of energy we use represent stored solar energy. Which of the following is not ultimately derived from the sun's energy? Geothermal energy, wind energy, fossil fuels, biomass. Here biomass depends upon the solar energy, because biomass is nothing but the plant and animal waste. The plant produce their food with the help of the sunlight, and animals uses that food. So here biomass is derived from the sun energy. Fossil fuels are the remainders of the animals and plants decaying objects. Here they are formed by the decomposition of the plants and animals. Then wind energy. Wind is caused by the uneven heating of the earth and air particles. So that is also due to the sun energy. But the next one, that is the geothermal energy. You know that geothermal energy is the energy obtained in the interior core of the earth. So it is not directly derived from the sun's energy. So the answer is A, geothermal energy. So all these are derived from this wind energy, fossil fuels and biomass are derived from the sun. Then the 9th question. What is that question? The equation form of Ohm's law is. The equation forms of Ohm's law, you know, that is V is equals to R into I. V is equals to R into I. Also you know that here I is equals to V by R, or R is equals to V by I. Here the relation V is equals to IR is there. V is equals to RI is there. That is the answer. V is equals to RI. That is the equation form of Ohm's law. Next you take the 10th question. The resistance of a wire of length 2L is R. If the length of the wire is decreased to L, that is nothing but it becomes half. Then the resistance of the wire is, again you can say that here the 2L is decreased to L means it becomes half. Then R becomes R by 2. So here also the answer is R by 2. Option A is the answer. The resistance of the wire becomes R by 2 because the length was 2L. It becomes L, and the resistance of the wire of length 2L is R, and half of 2L is L. So the resistance also becomes half, that is R by 2. Next you take the 11th question. The rate at which electrical energy is consumed. You know the rate at which electrical energy consumed is the electric power. That is the electric power, the rate at which electrical energy is consumed. You know the potential difference electric current, electric charges. They are not the rate at which electrical energy is consumed. Next you take 12th question. The resistance of wire of length L is R. If the length of the wire is increased to 2L, then the resistance of the wire is, resistance of the wire of length L is R. If the length of the wire is increased to 2L, then the resistance of the wire. Here the length of the wire is doubled, that becomes 2L. Originally the length of the wire was L and its resistance is R, and here what they have done, the length of the wire is increased. The 2L is the length of the wire. As it is increased, it becomes 2L. So what will be the resistance? The resistance becomes double, that is also 2R. Next you take the 13th question. What is that? The surface of the lens used by watch mechanic is. The first option is a plane, second option thicker at the middle, C thin at the middle, D thicker at the edge. Here these two are having same meaning. Plain glass is not used, so here naturally watch mechanic is using convex lens, that is which is at thicker in the middle. That is the thicker in the middle, that is the lens used by the watch mechanic. Convex lens which is thicker at the middle. Next you take the 14th question. To increase the magnetic field around a circular coil. Here the four options are: increase the radius of the coil, decrease the number of turns, decrease the radius of the coil, decrease the current through the coil. The strength of the magnetic field depends upon the radius of the coil, number of turns, and the strength of the current. Here it is clear that as the number of turns increases, strength of the magnetic field increases. As the strength of the current increases, then also the magnetic field increases. But here they are decreased. So these two are the not correct answer, because to increase the magnetic field we have to increase the number of turns and also we have to increase the strength of the current. Next here these two options. Increase the radius of the coil. If the radius of the coil is increased, the strength of the magnetic field decreases. So here the answer is decrease the radius of the coil. If the radius of the coil is decreased, strength of the magnetic field increases. Strength of the magnetic field increases, that is the answer. So here number of turns increases, the strength of the magnetic field also increases. As the strength of the current increases, then also the strength of the magnetic field increases in the circular coil. And also if the radius of the coil is decreased, the strength of the magnetic field increases. See the 15th question. A wire of resistance R is melted and recast into half of its original length. A new resistance will be. In the previous questions, it is not said that the same wire is melted to form the new wire of the half length or double length. But here the question is the same wire is melted and recast into half of its original length. Recast into half of its original length. So here in this case we have to consider that in both the cases volume remains same. As the volume remains same, there is a change in the cross section area, means change in the radius or diameter and also in the length. Here as the length decreases, the area of cross section increases. So but the volume remains same. If you consider V is the original volume, V dash is the new volume. You know the formula for the volume of the cylindrical wire, that is phi r square h. What is that? A into H you take, AL you take. Here it is A dash, L dash. Then both are equals means these two are also same. V equals V dash means AL equals A dash, L dash. So then you take, here the new length is half of its original length. So L dash is equals to 1 by 2L. So you can have 2L dash equals L. 2L dash equals L. Then you write the ratio A by A dash equals L dash by L. L dash by L. So that you can write L dash by 2L dash, that becomes 1 by 2. So got the ratio that A by A dash is 1 by 2 and L dash by L is 1 by 2. Now let us have the relation for the resistance, that is R dash by R. Here we have to find out R dash. R dash you take rho into L by A by, that you take both for A dash because here it is R dash. Then rho by L by A. Rho cancels, that you will get L dash by A dash into A by L. Here you have to take the reciprocal. Then it becomes L dash by L into A by A dash. Then L dash by L. What is L dash by L? That is 1 by 2. And A by A dash, that is also 1 by 2. So that is R dash by R equals, you got 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. That is R dash by R is equals to 1 by 4. Then R dash equals, you will get R by 4. R dash equals R by 4. So what is the answer here? D. Option D is the answer. So you can't guess the answer here. You must do the calculation. So you must be thorough in calculation. Otherwise you must be perfect in the practice. You must practice it. Then you can make out the answer easily. Next, 16th question. The hardest natural material. The hardest natural material is, that is the hardest substance in the nature, that is the diamond. So option C is the answer. Next you take the 17th question. That is from the chemistry. The functional group present in CH3COOH. The functional group is this one, COOH. That is called the carboxylic acid group. Carboxylic acid. So what is the answer here? The answer is carboxylic acid. Now the question number 18. The correct sequence of the given metals according to the descending order of the reactivity. Here, as we have to arrange according to the descending order of the reactivity, you have to take the highly reactive metal first. You know that potassium is the highly reactive metal among all. After that sodium, after that barium, next calcium, then magnesium. After the magnesium, aluminium, then zinc, then Fe, after that nickel, next tin, Sn, then lead, Pb, then hydrogen, then copper, then Hg, then Ag, silver, then gold, Au, after that platinum. Now here, you know that in which case that potassium is there, potassium here is there, here is there. Next also aluminium is there, aluminium there. But here among Fe and Cu, which comes first here? You make out Fe comes first, after that copper. So you must take the option D. Fe is more reactive than copper. So here potassium is more active than aluminium. Aluminium is more active than iron. Iron is more active than copper. So here which is the answer? Option D is the answer. Option D is the answer. Next, let us take the 19th question. What is that 19th question? C6H6 is the molecular formula of butane, hexane, cyclohexane, benzene. Here C6 is there means here you take hex. But here hexane is an alkane. Its molecular formula is C6H14 it becomes. And cyclohexane means same formula C6H14 only. But here butane molecular formula is methith propbut. Methith propbut means C4H10 it is. So here these three are not answer. The answer is option D, benzene. The molecular formula of benzene is C6H6. You can have that double bond here. You know that here alternately double bonds are there. CH. Here you can have CC here. H. This is the structure of the benzene with the molecular formula C6H6. Now you take the 20th question. The correct pair of metals that do not react with water. Calcium, copper is there. Here calcium reacts, copper will not react. Copper and iron. Copper will not react, iron react. Gold and silver. Gold will not react, silver also not react. Here silver reacts, calcium, silver will not react, calcium reacts. So here you have to take the answer gold, silver. Both of them are not reacting with water. So the correct pair of metals that do not react with water is gold and silver. Now the next question, question number 21. The alkene having 4 hydrogen atom. Here they said about the 4 hydrogen atom, not 4 carbon atom. So you know that here meth, eth, prop, but, pent. Eth is C2, prop is C3, but is C4, pent is C5. But alkene having 4 hydrogen atom, that is C2H4, that is ethene. So ethene is having 4 hydrogen atom, that is the option A is the answer. Ethene is having 4 hydrogen atom. Next let us take the question number 72. Unsaturated carbon compound among the following. You know the alkane, methane, ethane, propane, butane, all these are saturated carbon compound. But alkene and alkynes are the unsaturated carbon compound. Here you know that C2H6 it is ethane, C3H8 it is propane, C4H10 it is butane, and C5 is there and H10 is there. In all the cases here 2 2s are 4 plus 2 and 3 2s are 6 plus 2, 4 2s are 8 plus 2. Here 5 2s is there. Here the formula is Cn2n plus 2, Cn2n plus 2, Cn2n plus 2 here. Then here 5 2s is there, that is it is, you can say that it is pentene. What it is? Pentene, that is with the molecular formula CnH2n, that is C5H10. So which is the unsaturated carbon compound? C5H10. C5H10 is the unsaturated hydrocarbon. So the option D is the answer. This is the unsaturated. Here in all these cases sufficient amount of hydrogens are there. All are of single bond substances. They are all single bond molecules, but the C510H10 is having one double bond, that you can observe here. C double bond C will be there. C5 is there. Here you can have here already 2 plus 2 4. Here one more will there. Here HH, 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 HH. Now you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here there is a double bond between a pair of carbon atoms. So one double bond is there and it is unsaturated hydrocarbon. So C5H10 is the unsaturated hydrocarbon, that is pentene. Next you take question number 23. The pH of fresh milk is 6.8. When it changes to curd, its pH value becomes, the pH value of the neutral is 7 and less than 7 they are acidic in nature, greater than 7 they are basic in nature. So when curd is added to milk, so its acidic nature increases, so the pH value must decrease. It must decrease. Adding curd, it becomes acidic. So you know that as pH decreases with increase of acidic nature, that is increase of hydrogen ions, pH increases with the increase of basic nature. So here as its acidic nature increases, it becomes less than 6.8. Less than 6.8. What is the answer here? Option C is the answer. What is the answer? Less than 6.8. Next you take the 24th question. The scientist who proposed the modern periodic table. Newland is there, Henry Moseley is there, Dobriner, Mendeleev. Here all these three are given their own laws: Newland law, Dobrine law, Mendeleev law, and the modern periodic law is proposed by the scientist Henry Moseley. Next let us take the question number 25th. If hydrocarbon burns with a clear blue flame in presence of excess oxygen, then the product formed. If hydrocarbon burns with sufficient supply of oxygen or sufficient supply of air, it gives carbon dioxide, water, and it burns with blue flame. It burns with blue flame and it is a complete combustion. So here in the complete combustion, what are the products? The products are naturally carbon dioxide and water. That you have to make out the answer here: carbon dioxide and water. The option D is the answer. You must know this. Here in the presence of excess oxygen means in the sufficient supply of oxygen. When compound burn in sufficient oxygen, what will be formed? Carbon dioxide and water, and the flame is blue flame. The flame is blue flame. That is, the products formed are carbon dioxide and water vapor. So the option D is the answer. And here which are the other options? Carbon monoxide and water vapor, carbon particle, and all these are in the case of the incomplete combustion. Now the question number 26. Which of these does not release H plus aqueous ions when added to water? Here you know that acids release H plus ions, and which are not acids, they will not release H plus ions. So this is acid, hydrochloric acid, this is formic acid, this is acetic acid, and this is alcohol, methyl alcohol. So here all these three liberate H plus ion, but this one will not liberate the H plus ion, it release OH ions. This is not acid. This is not acid. Only acid releases H plus ions when added to water. That is the option D is the answer. Next you take the question number 27. The type of bond that formed between chlorine and potassium. The type of bond formed between chlorine and potassium. You know that K plus Cl minus, that you will get KCl. Potassium ion and chlorine ion forms to potassium chloride. That is ionic bond. What is the type of bond formed? That is the ionic bond. Formation of the ion, positive and negative ion. Positive and negative ions attract each other to form the ionic compound, that is the potassium chloride. That is the last question, 27.